Almost 24 hours after a Bitcoin flash crash last night, Bitcoin may be consolidating just above $11,000. Is there actual support here? What are the targets to the downside? We have a couple. And is there any chance, any possibility that Bitcoin could actually continue bullish? Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for coming by Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe on the way in if you're not a subscriber. And there it is, the hourly candle that was very interesting to live through. I started recording and editing a video. Well, I was recording the video right around here. And in the video, I discussed Bitcoin potentially visiting 10,500. And it started happening during the video. It was the first time it's ever happened to me. You might have caught the video. And right now you can see Bitcoin trading sideways, and we ask ourselves, was that the dip? And is there support for continuation to the upside? So I want to discuss these things. I really want to talk about some targets that are very important. So let's first start with a video here from July 22nd. Yes, July 22nd, to really paint the picture what is going on right now. And we have a larger, and this is like the true bullish target, I would say, of over $11,000, which is a target of this symmetrical triangle. So we've really been talking about this type of story coming. There it is. So that was July 22nd, right? And if you remember, Bitcoin broke out of that symmetrical triangle right around that time. We were talking about waiting for that breakout, and the target of that breakout, if you see on the screen, is right here. Right around 11,000, 11,100. Now, interestingly enough, you see Bitcoin is trading there right now. So it overshot the target. We maybe had a little overextension from that target, but right now Bitcoin is seeing support above that target. And that is one thing we always want to look out for. When we hit that target, is there resistance? Meaning, when that target was immediately hit July 27th or so, did it come right back down, which it didn't. It actually continued to the upside, overextended itself from this 50 moving average, and now we came back down to this target area. That's very key, especially in an environment where you want bullish continuation. So there's a reason why I'm bringing up that symmetrical triangle we tracked, right, since May, basically. Is a pretty big one because we finally hit the target and we're trading above that target breakout area, or right at the target breakout area right now, and that is very important. Now, the other thing is this. If you look at this chart, this yellow line that Bitcoin is trading right above, Bitcoin broke that also July 27th. And if you zoom out on this chart, the daily chart, that is a long-term trend line going all the way back to the bull market high of 2017. So Bitcoin at an incredibly crazy area right now of support and resistance. What will hold, right? Which one is going to hold, and who will win, the bears or the bulls? And these are the questions that we simply don't know the answer to, but we do get hints as we zoom in on the chart. So let's do that. Before I do that, this is two quick clips from last night just to set the tone and some context for these charts. It finally decides to come back down to that 50 moving average, 20% dip or so. And not only that, it breaks through to the downside for a quick, almost 40% dip to the downside. People probably freaking out in that time. Please be ready for that emotional roller coaster because it's most likely straight ahead. So 11,900 last night, as I did that video, that started happening. That crazy dip started happening. Here's another clip. You really have to be careful. But even at 20% overextension, be careful because throwbacks happen. Historically on Bitcoin charts, there's pretty much never a time where it didn't happen. So be prepared, right? In this case, a throwback, even if a slow, steady one, could be, a 15% or so dip for Bitcoin, breaking even through this neckline of this very bullish inverse head and shoulders that Bitcoin currently broke out of. So we were trading 11,800 towards the end of this video, and it started happening. The dip started happening. So what are we left with? This is the chart that we're left with. I ended that video talking about structure. We need to see structure on the charts. We want to give Bitcoin some time to see structure. And so we're starting to begin to see a little structure, not much. So a couple key points on this 6-hour chart. We talked about Bitcoin coming back down to that longer term symmetrical triangle target right around 11,000, 11,100. That's where we are now. But what Bitcoin did
is basically broke out of this smaller symmetrical triangle that we've been tracking. We hit our target to the upside and we came back down, and this is a throwback. We talk about this all the time on this channel. 62% of the time out of a symmetrical triangle, you can anticipate a throwback at the very least to the trend line, the upper trend line that it broke out of, and we're getting that now. So we are in a very small area of support, and I think we're going to find out soon whether or not there will be support here. Now, I have a couple areas just marked. Number one, $10,500 or so is the neckline of that inverse head and shoulders that we've been tracking. That's, if you zoom out on the daily chart, I'll go over there and just take a look. There's the neckline. 10,500 is a very key area. I talked about this in last night's video because we broke out of that July 27th. We broke out of that, broke above that neckline, and we are now looking for support anywhere in that area, any type of consolidation along that area. And as we have this big dip on this screen, it'll be interesting to see what structure we do get. What kind of pattern is Bitcoin going to put in? Are we going to cruise up a little bit here, see a swing high maybe around here, like 11,700, come back down? Like, are we going to put in a symmetrical triangle? I don't know, but that's what I'm looking for. We're looking for some type of structure for Bitcoin to put in. The other thing down here is $9,600. That's the 50 moving average on the daily chart. Now, in that video last night, kind of towards the middle, what I was talking about was Bitcoin, how often it just, even in a bullish environment, it pulls back to the 50 moving average, this blue line. And you can even see it right here, for instance. This was back in like the spring of 2019, right here. These pullbacks, they're huge for Bitcoin. And actually, if you want to get just an idea of what kind of volatile environment that is, right there is a 15% dip in a couple days. This one wicking all the way down to 20%, right? These are in uptrend environments. If we zoom out on the chart more, this is what I was talking about yesterday. This is Bitcoin throughout the last bull market. Look at these throwbacks to the 50 moving average or below. Now, you thought last night was bad. Imagine this environment, what that was like back in 2016, 2017. So be prepared for an environment like that. That's what I was talking about last night. And if you actually scroll over to this daily chart where we are, it doesn't look half bad. It almost doesn't look bad at all, right? We had a little bit of a setback last night, not even, I don't think, 15%. And this is where we are in the daily chart, right? So some consolidation never hurt anybody, especially Bitcoin. This full candle for total 13 or so percent. So that's literally nothing in the Bitcoin world. So going back to these charts now, speaking of this 50-day moving average down here, $9,600, that's what I'm looking at right now. So key areas, everybody, for the downside, 10,500, 9,600, so 9,600 50-day moving average, 10,500 neckline. What will Bitcoin do at these areas? I'm not worried if Bitcoin tests any of these areas. What I'm worried about is if it breaks through all of them. That's a bearish confirmation if we break through. But bullish confirmation would be to see some type of steady support above, and we have to be a little patient for Bitcoin to do that. Going over to this chart, this really will bring it all together. 4 points. One of which I haven't discussed yet. The neckline, we talked about 10,500. The 50 moving average down here, 9,600. The triangle target of 11,000, which is the immediate support for us, where Bitcoin is trading now. And to really bring it all together, we can bring our Fibonacci retracements, and we can chart the swing low, the lowest low in the right shoulder of that inverse head and shoulders to this previous swing high we just had. And we have our 618 to 786 right here. And we're talking $10,000 down to $9,500. So basically $9,500, $9,600 up to $10,500. There is so much support for Bitcoin. Anything in that area, if we visit it, I'm telling you personally, I'm not worried at all about Bitcoin dipping that low. Now, if we break through it, that's going to shift my bullish tone a little bit to be, a little concerned about immediate support for Bitcoin. But these are the reasons why we do technical analysis, because we have all of this data to analyze Bitcoin and see what it's going to do. But again, going to the weekly chart, I'm really going to zoom out here. Going to the weekly, and let me kind of go to a more clean chart. Let me delete this. Going to the weekly, you can see The volatility involved in the lifetime of Bitcoin is consistent. Bitcoin is consistently volatile. So if I zoom out, if I clear some of these indicators, last night, if you look at it now on the weekly chart, doesn't look like anything. So, it happened. I'd say put it behind us. Now we have our immediate areas of support and resistance. In terms of Bitcoin continuing to the upside, I'll just zoom out here on the daily chart. And I want to show you something. If we look at a chart, like for instance, back in right here, right? This was May 2019 in an uptrend, Bitcoin on its way to $14,000. It looks kind of very similar to this beginning uptrend now for Bitcoin, breaking through this 50 moving average over here. I'm trying to clean up my chart for you all. 50 moving average breaking through, just getting nice overextension there, and Bitcoin doing the same thing at really the bottom here of the bear market. Do you remember? So we broke through the 50 moving average, we're getting strong extension, but we have these environments where Bitcoin's dipping. This was what? I think that 20% dip right here. Everybody probably thinking Bitcoin's going down. And I feel like it's a similar environment now. But what did Bitcoin do from that area? It consolidated very briefly and it continued to the upside, right? So from that swing low, it still went another 100% to $14,000. So that is very possible for Bitcoin now. And if we go over now to, let me change this to a 6-hour chart and talk about the upside potential for Bitcoin. Actually, let me go to a daily chart because it's just way easier to zoom out here. $13,000 to $14,000 area, if you zoom out, is a very key area for Bitcoin to visit. So Bitcoin could be on its way to test this previous high that Bitcoin had all the way back in June 2019, over a year ago. And that will be critical for Bitcoin because now if we really zoom out on the charts, that is the doorway to the bull market, everybody. And Bitcoin could be on its way there, the doorway to the bull market, the swing high in 2017 to the bear market low. And there it is, $16,000 to $13,000. That green rectangle that you see on the screen is the bull market doors. Bitcoin very well could be on its way there. Similar move to what happened back here. Short period of consolidation starting last night, maybe. Either way, this really takes a little patience. We have to see how this plays out on the charts, but Bitcoin's still looking fine. I'm not worried about it at all. You know my support areas on these charts. Let me know your thoughts below. I really appreciate you cruising by. Again, if you're here and not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, hit the like on the way out. If you got any value from this video, I'll see you on the next video. Have an awesome night and God bless.